have my production skills developed throughout this project. Starting on this project, I didn't know anything about how filming worked, and the only knowledge that I had stored was the few things that I learned throughout the beginning of the year, as in camera shots, mise en scene, different angles, diegetic sound, undiegetic sound, editing, the different cuts, and everything. Um, I went into this project solo, and I wouldn't say that I regret it, but it was quite difficult to do the work all by myself. And trying to find an actor at first was one of the most hardest thing ever, which ended up not happening. So I had to do an alternative of my story in order to still be able to complete this project. Throughout this project, I used different softwares such as Premiere Rush, CapCut, Canvas, moving through them and understanding how I could integrate media convergence and while blending text overlays and music transitions. When I first filmed, when filming my opening sequence, I was pretty nervous because I filmed it last minute. It was pretty much the day before it was due. And I ended up editing it, and I felt accomplished because I still had done something that I could say was decent. Help from anyone or even an actor, which I probably should have started looking for earlier on. But anyways, when I started doing my creative critical reflection, that's when things really rushed because I had quite little time to do so. My first critical reflection, I chose to do a radio broadcast. Since I really didn't have anyone to ask questions, I simply just used my voice and modified it with CapCut's features, and it came out well enough for me. My second creative critical reflection, I did a podcast which is interlinked with the radio broadcast from early. My fourth critical reflection was a screencast of how I use different apps. Although it was short, I think it showed sufficient visual amount of my abilities with technology and such. At the end, I would say that I wish that I hadn't done everything so late, and maybe I would have been more so satisfied with the outcome of my project in general. But that is not to say that I regret anything that I have done so far. I feel as if for a first time with media studies and this specific project that I I have done everything that I could do to convey everything that I wanted to present. And I feel as if the most highlighted moment of my production was I think the most highlighted part of my production journey was my story building, as I took pleasure in writing and creating those characters, their different struggles and experiences, and predicting how well they would work together, learn from each other, with in mind how I would want the characters to get to the audience with this feature film, how I would want um my target audience to feel while watching the film, and after watching the film, the different reflections that would go throughout their minds and such.